Ladies and gentlemen, Nicky Lee.
The price to pay for feeling the type to play, never score. What's life a bad decision? The type to play and never score. Eye for an eye is taking, not one of mine, but one of yours. Yes, and it's true to say, only a fool can play in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings. If I won't say goodbye, then would you still meet me at the door? Cut sudden ties and left in a silence that's breaking at the door. If I won't go to make it, oh, I won't shake it anymore. Yes, and it's true to say, only a fool can play in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings. If I was true, I said the words, had nothing left to know. If God was you and every fool and all the other no. If I was truth that said the words and nothing left to say. Oh, you got me. Yes, you got me. Oh, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings, in lonely feelings.
Ooh, Nicky Lee.
Hey.
Dude. Holy shit. That was so I've never heard, actually I've heard you perform once before. It was a long time ago. I don't know if I've heard both of you perform together. You guys are great.
Thanks.
Yeah, wow. Usually I go, oh, welcome to the studio, but I had to start with you guys are great because I'm a little bit taken aback right now. This is awesome. So welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you here. So what do you have for us today? Let's start there.
Like song-wise, like the names of the songs, or
Well, I mean, you can give us the names of the song if you want to give us a quick rundown. But are you doing original stuff or covers or a mix?
yeah, all originals.
All originals?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was a tune called "Lonely Feelings."
That's a great song, by the way.
Thanks. Still warming up.
That just you set like a whole tone right there. I don't know. That song really, really tells a story, and I kind of actually. Is there a story behind that song in particular? She's laughing already, so that means yes.
Story behind every song.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that song really came from just finding my place and like understanding where I was with the dark and the light, and mistakes and resilience and all that kind of stuff. But that lonely place in the middle of finding, where it makes sense is kind of what the song's about.
Yeah. That's interesting. That song, it gives you that feeling. That's what's kind of weird. So I don't want to say weird about it because it's not weird, but it's interesting, right? That it puts you, at least it put me in that moment, like you can feel it. Whereas like a lot of songs, they'll talk about certain things, right? They'll talk about, or like they'll try to like make you feel better, or some songs they try to make you like, I don't want to say make you feel bad, but like make you feel like a certain sadness, right? But what was interesting about that is it really does put you in that place where you're just like, it just resonates. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Thank you.
And especially like when you do that together, I mean, you guys weren't able to hear it, obviously, but I got a little preview in the earbuds when I was checking the sound. And you two together, I mean, especially like the harmonies, it's like chilling. It's almost haunting. There's like this ethereal, thing going on there. So I'm actually really excited to listen back to this after the fact. I think that's going to be great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just getting warm.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a couple days, and so thanks.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to the next song here,
Sure.
and then I've got some questions for you. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll do 2 songs if you want, and then we'll dive into some stuff. Oh, and real quick, I just want to thank everybody that's tuning in so far. This is the Lockdown live stream. We do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. with a different artist or band each week. And this week we have Nicky Lee, and accompanying him is Marie Claire Evans.
I can't sleep, and I don't think there is only one way here, and let you in and pull you out. You don't hear me when I shout. Oh, I know there was an answer when you lied. I saw what was to be. You had me feeling something. Now you are saying nothing. Oh God, a crying angel left for a dying label. Inside a bad decision, a broken wing has been dead. There's only one thing I can see, but promise me you don't love me anymore. As I wait, my hands they shake, drowning when you're far away. My soul is sold to the oath and all the promises that you break. Whoa. I know I can be evil in the times when I am insecure. You had me feeling something. Now you are saying nothing. Oh God, a crying angel left for a dying label. Inside a bad decision, a broken wing has been dead. There's only one thing I can see, but promise me you don't love me anymore. I can't sleep, 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 oh, I can't sleep. And I know there was an answer in the times when I was all in all. But you had me feeling something. Now you were saying nothing. Oh God, a crying angel left for a dying label inside a bad decision. A broken wings been dead. There's only one thing I can see. Promise me you don't love me anymore. Thank you. Let's go. This is a song called Stuck. What if I asked you to be my friend? Maybe asked you for your ear. Now would you be, or would you pretend you can listen as well as hear? Well, now I'm stuck, fucked, and still sad. And maybe life is not that bad. Well, I scratch, kick, and I choke myself. Happy that I'm pissed, I provoke myself. Everybody wants to see your high, and no one wants to help you low. You can run and you can hide. You'll never stop before you go. What's in store for this silly thing future? A metaphor, my past makes sense. One-sided door, unpop the loose. Start your fire, don't forget your sticks. Well, now I'm stuck, fucked, and still sad. And maybe life is not that bad. Well, I scratch, kick, and I choke myself. Happy that I'm pissed, I provoke myself. Everybody wants to see your eyes, and no one wants to help you low. You can run and you can hide. You never stop before you go. Ooh, yeah. What if I asked you to be my friend? Maybe asked you for your ear. Now would you be, or would you pretend you can listen as well as hear? Oh, I am stuck, so stuck, and I'm sad. Oh, and maybe life is not that bad. Oh, I scratch, kick, and I choke myself. Happy that I'm pissed, God, I provoke myself. Oh, I sing. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Everybody wants to. Oh, yeah. But they never will now. No, they never will now. They'll never fucking see you through it. What if I ask you would you be? Or would you pretend you can listen as well as he?
Damn.
Thanks.
Man, you two really do sound great together. Seriously. I mean, I know, so we talked a little bit about recording, right?
Yes.
Is she going to be on those recordings?
Yeah.
'Cause seriously, wow. All right, so I got a couple of questions for you. Let's go all the way back to the very, very beginning of time. All right, so there was the Big Bang, and then you were born. Right. It's exactly in that order. So how did you get your start in music? Because you're a phenomenal songwriter and performer. That doesn't just happen overnight.
Well, growing up, I've from since the age of probably 4, I loved music and performing and stuff. Like, my mom's used to take videos of me in front of the fireplace singing like Queen and Janis Joplin and stuff like that, and just like performing. I don't know, I always kind of really gravitated towards that.
Right.
And like the writing and stuff, and it didn't really come. I mean, when I was about 14, I think I wrote my first song. And immediately I started to understand like that was my outlet. That was my, my way of life.
Yeah. Now, at that point, were you playing guitar, or did you just start writing?
I mean, like, when I was like a kid, like, obviously I picked up a guitar and was like, whatever it is. I don't even know what it means. No, just kidding. So, but I mean, I learned a few songs.
Yeah. Learned
the chords, and then just immediately started to want to create my own thing.
Yeah.
So I've always been a very expressive person.
Mm-hmm.
And then just being able to get my feelings out like that, and in that way of articulating it, just really made sense to me.
Yeah.
And then like once I wrote one and really felt what that was and what that did to me and for me, it was over from there. And then it's like I write for myself, and I share it for the sake of other people, hopefully that somebody else can relate.
Yeah.
Because music saved my life, so it'd be kind of selfish for me not to share my experience.
No, that's a great way of looking at it, and that's something that I can appreciate, and I'm sure a lot of people can appreciate. Because kind of going back to your first song, there's this weird place in the middle of struggle where it's just that lonely feeling. And so when you share stuff like that, when you bare your soul to the world, as difficult as that can be sometimes, super helpful, right? And I think that's the whole point, ultimately, of art, right? All right, so you got this start in songwriting. Eventually, you pick up a guitar. Do you pick up any other instruments along the way? Like, where does the journey go?
Okay, so yeah, I started playing the guitar and singing and stuff like that, and the didgeridoo.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, where's that at?
I don't know.
In our living room?
Yeah, in our living room.
Opportunity missed is an
So the
opportunity
didgeridoo
lost.
was huge to me. I grew up listening. I grew up listening to this guy Xavier Rudd, and he's like a multi-instrumentalist from Australia, and he's really conscious songwriting, environment and social justice and stuff like that, and he does the didgeridoo and stuff like that, and I was just like completely drawn to that.
Yeah.
And so I started playing it and started using it with meditation and in my other stuff like that, and then just there was like a drum set too, like a hand-me-down drum set, and then like somebody gave me a keyboard, and then you know what I mean, just like I just started playing essentially anything and with whatever I could, and I remember I used to play the didgeridoo, and I would bang on pots and pans while I was playing that too, sitting in my room. Yeah, and just it's always been a part of my life and a part of me.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Now, when did you realize that like music was like really for you? Like when did you have that moment where you were like, okay, like I can actually do this. Like this isn't just a pipe dream anymore. Like I'm good at this.
Probably when you asked me to be on the show. I'm flattered. No, really, I'm very honored. Thank you for taking the time to do this with me. I mean, I don't know, like I would write, and then like people, like my friends and stuff would like start singing the songs that I was writing, and then you know, I was in a band, and then like the band was like gaining traction and stuff like that, you know, but I never really was like, oh, I like, to me it's about like the writing first, and it's like about really staying loyal to like the expression, and what it means to articulate that. So but probably, you know, once I started playing out and started getting positive feedback and negative feedback, I've gotten like some pretty gnarly remarks, and like I'm like, oh, cool, I must be doing something right then, because I remember one time I like walked by this dude's house. I was like out in Northern Virginia and whatever, and these dudes were all partying and stuff. And I walked by his house, and he was like, hey, man, come inside, whatever. So, quick story. So then he was like, I was like, cool, man. I was probably 17 at the time. I was like, I have my guitar. Like, can I play you guys some songs? And I was playing the songs, and mid-song, he's like, all right, stop, enough.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, he was like, just completely ragging on me. I remember the last thing I ever said to this dude, I said, one day you're going to be buying tickets to my concert. And to this day, I'm fucking waiting for that dude. I'm waiting for it, you know? But I don't know. It was just once I believed in myself and what I was really doing. Was when it kind of all started to make sense. You know, a couple years afterwards.
Yeah, you know, that's what's interesting though. It's those moments that can really break you or make you. And I've found moments like that to be, I don't know, powerful motivators in somewhat, like you just said, right? One day you're gonna be buying a ticket to my concert. You know, like that's a driving force. You know, and I know from some experiences similar to that in my life. Namely, I applied to Berklee College of Music. I got rejected, and in their letter, they were talking about how we're more focused on, like, we're interested in bringing people here that we think could have a career in music. So I was like, okay, watch me. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I was like, you know.
Right.
Bring it on.
And it's not even really necessarily about like, I'm so good and I'm so this, but it's just kind of that, like, you're proving yourself that you can do it. Like when somebody's telling you can't do something and you do it, you're proving it to yourself. Because sometimes, especially I feel like in a lot of artists and people, any kind of, you know, we soak it in, and we take you know, negative comments and stuff, at least me, like, more personally than I do, like, you know, any kind of compliment. So it's like, oh, you start to believe them. And I think that way of thinking for me of like, all right, you'll fucking see, is like telling myself, like, don't allow that to get inside of me and control me.
No, absolutely. And I think that's a great way of looking at it. I think that's how you have to look at it, because if you look at it any other way, I think it breaks you down, and that's how people just end up giving up, you know. And that's really sad to see. You know, there are a number of musicians. I know a few that you know, they could do it if they wanted to do it, but you know, there were those moments where it's just like, and then they just kind of trailed off, and it's like, man, I hate seeing that, because there's so many people, especially like out here, that are just incredible. It's just like, don't stop. Like, do not stop what you're doing, because you're getting somewhere. You might not see it yet, but you're getting somewhere.
Yeah, just keep doing it. You get better, you'll progress, you know, and like it's all a big spiritual muscle. Yeah. Kind of, you know, work it out.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's a great way to categorize it. So we touched on the writing aspect of things a little bit, and I want to dive into that a little bit more. Although, you know what? I think first, how do you guys feel about doing another song?
That's fine.
And then we'll talk about the writing a little bit.
Totally.
Awesome.
This is a song called I Am. I am a broken record, just waiting to be fixed. I've lied and lied in darkness, I've ran and sat through it, but my hope will be an answer to all that was unknown. And nothing's worth my body, I am a precious stone. Well, you can try to break me, and you can try to brawl. I've waited all my life now to love me and feel whole. I've always had a feeling I never could explain. I wasn't just a vessel, and I forgot my name. But there will be some learning, 'cause there were some mistakes. And if it makes me better, then better I will be. And some of the things that I have done, I need to put away, 'cause it just makes me human, and it's not yesterday. So when you wait till you break, say what you think. Leave it on the table with 3 legs still able to stand. And hold on to hope. Don't let it go. Leave it in the plan. This is who I am. Yeah. A special kind of sadness, I'll leave it in the rounds, 'cause I define the madness, and it will knock me down. But I can give myself a hand and make it worth a try. I need to do this for myself I will fight. But there's still empty feelings, and there is still some hurt. But growing pains will save the day, and it will make things work. Ooh, well, I can paint a picture with my mind. And sometimes it destroys me, and sometimes makes me blind. But my vision is a goal now, and I will come to find just what it is I was looking for was with me the whole time. And when the darkness creeps again, we'll make it move along. And I will never tell myself I'm weak when I am strong. Yeah, now. So when you wait till you break, say what you think. Leave it on the table with 3 legs still able to stand. And hold on to hope. Don't let it go. Leave it in the plan. This is who I am. Oh, leave the body bleeding. You feel it in your soul, and throw away the meanings that you can't hold. Well, living by example, and you find it in yourself, and give it the distractions that take your health. Well, expect you leave you lonely, and comparing doesn't last. And if you crucify yourself, this too shall pass. Oh yeah. So when you wait till you break, say what you think. Leave it on the table with 3 legs still able to stand. Oh yeah. And hold on to hope. Don't let it go. Leave it in the plan. This is who I am. Oh, leave it in the plan. This is who I am.
I really like that song. I felt that. Jeez. So when did you write that?
I wrote that probably February of 2020.
Okay, so that's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a heavy song. I really like the just how visual it is too. Like the line about put it on the table. There's 3 legs. You know, like you might have to reiterate the line for me.
Leave it on the
leave
table.
it on the table.
With
Yeah.
3 legs still able to stand.
Yeah. That's interesting. Where did that come from? You know, like how did you put that song together? Because it's very clever, and it paints a really, really strong image.
Leave it on the table, meaning be vulnerable. And sometimes our table only has 3 legs, but it still is able to stand.
Yeah.
Just because it's not essentially complete doesn't mean that it's not of any value.
Yeah. Wow. It's profound. So let me ask it this way: how do you approach your songwriting?
Usually, I mean, I just I tend to sit with something, and when I'm sitting with that, like, I'll just have my guitar and whatever,
Yeah.
and I'll just be diddling around on the guitar, and melodies kind of come to me. The melodies kind of come to me, and I kind of do like an ad lib thing with
Gotcha.
the melody. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of ad libbing, and then the lyrics come, and sometimes the lyrics come like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'll be playing it, and then I'll just be singing,
Right.
and then that's kind of what happens. And that's what it's supposed to be, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Usually, if I'm like forcing something, it's like roses are red, violets are blue.
Right.
Da, 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 you know, and it's I have to be the filter and the channel for the song, for my experience, and allowing the experience in its complete form to come through me, and for me to reflect on it and articulate what it was I or somebody else or is going on or feeling or doing or see, or, that kind of stuff. And obviously there's like, you gotta have a sense of poetry for the rhyming schemes and
Right.
all that kind of stuff, and that's like kind of like the last thing, but for me, really, it's just about being able to articulate what needs to come out of me. And what is supposed to come through me. And
Yeah. Now, in that process, does it remain fairly organic, or do you ever get to a point where you're like, okay, I need to be deliberate about like the core concept of what this song is, and then write around that, or does it just flow out and it's just already organized?
It depends on the song. Honestly, it really depends on the song, because sometimes it is very fun to play like with a song.
Yeah.
Play with it, meaning like, ooh, like, let's see what I can do
Yeah.
with this. As long as I don't stray too far away from like what I'm actually trying to say and convey, then it's really fun to do it like that, and to still have fun with it. But I usually just allow it to happen. Like, I'll be halfway through the song, and then like 3 months will come by, and like maybe I had to go through another experience or different experiences to be able to complete that song, or be able to complete the holistic message of what it is the song needs.
Interesting.
Because it's about what the song needs. It's not about what I need. It's not about what you need, or it's about what the song needs.
Right. No, that's a mentality I like a lot. Especially in my line of work, it's always about like serve the song.
Right.
It's not about the instrumentalists or like the performers or whatever. It's okay, what's the total package of the song, and how does that ultimately end up affecting people or whatever? How does it ultimately convey the message that is trying to be conveyed? So I'm kind of curious. I don't think I've ever asked this question before. Where do you think? I mean, I've asked it in certain senses, but not quite like this. But I'm curious what your perspective here is. Where do you think a song comes from? Because one of the common themes, and I'll give you a little background. One of the common themes that I've had in talking with people about songwriting is a lot of songwriters just feel like they're kind of a conduit almost, and it just like flows out of this ethereal nowhere into existence, into their mind, and it's like then they scramble to try to get it out, you know, before that moment's gone. And so I'm just kind of curious if that's something you've ever thought about, or you know, or if it's something you have a perspective on, you know, where does that come from, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's that's a good question. I ask myself that question probably every day. I think it just comes from experience and imagination, because I mean the song world and songwriting world is so vast. Like there's nothing you can't write about.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel that's true. I don't necessarily know if I mean it's like this song's like floating in the air and then it just like like comes right through me and I'm like, whoa, no, what do I do?
Right.
But like it's, I mean, I think it comes from
the premise for a
within
horror
you,
film.
and I think that's what makes each individual artist like their own artist.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like ripping off a bunch of other artists and like all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just within yourself, from your experience, your imagination, your perception, your acceptance, like that's what it is to me, I think. And I just allow that like greater self. I allow that greater self, higher self of my higher self to be able to channel that. So I guess you could say like your higher self is where I think my songs come from.
Yeah.
The most pure me.
Yeah, that's kind of the sense that I've been starting to get myself, and just in conversations with other people, you know. But what's fascinating is, you know, everybody articulates it in a different way. But it's interesting because I think everybody's kind of talking about the same thing, just using different words, which is always really interesting. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
For offering your perspective on that. So going back in time a little bit, again, just after the Big Bang.
Shortly after.
Shortly after, yes. So you're getting into songwriting. So today, so far, you've played some phenomenal songs, like really, really good stuff. Have you written a bunch of bad songs, or did you just...
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots. And I mean, who am I to say that these aren't bad? You know what I mean? But
They're not.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bad to me, like for sure. Like yeah, dude. Next time I see you, I'll bring some notebooks over and we'll have a good giggle.
This dude writes like nobody's business. Like he always is working on like 4 songs at a time.
Really?
You know how I struggle sometimes to write. Like he's.
Well, so I guess that's kind of the perfect segue into my next question is like how many, if you could put a number on it, I feel like this is actually a difficult question for a lot of people. You know, how many songs would you say, or actually ballpark it? Like, are we talking like 10 songs? I know it's way more than that.
Like 150?
Like 150?
Probably.
Wow. Okay, so you're really just getting after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, yeah, I'd say about 150. I mean, I have tons and tons of notebooks that are full and stuff, and
yeah,
I mean, it's easy to do for me. Like, no, I mean, like it's easy to do. Like, I was going back to the whole bad song thing.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to write a bad song, you know, and I almost feel like it's really good to do that sometimes. Like
Yes.
you gotta like get the rust off and just be like A B C D E F G, you know, and just like just get it out and like whatever. I mean, didn't somebody say like songwriting is like when you turn on a faucet, like a bad faucet, and like you gotta let the muck out before the clear water comes?
Right. Yep.
It's kind of, you know, I like that phrase.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what you have to do. I don't think you can write a good song without writing like 10 bad songs or even more than that. I mean, how many bad songs I wrote before I wrote one that I think might be half decent, but they all still might suck. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's really interesting because like I have songs that I like would play and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really like that song anymore. Like I think it's bad,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back to it like a couple years later. I'm like, damn, that's actually kind of a good song. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the perception thing of where you are.
Yeah. Which, so kind of a side question there. Have you ever had that experience where you write a song, like years ago, and it meant one thing to you then, and then you rediscover that song, like, say, 5 years later, or whatever it is, right? And you listen back to it, and it means something almost entirely different, and in some ways is more applicable to your life now than it was then. It was almost like your past self writing a song for your future self. You ever run into that?
Absolutely, and I think that ties into the whole like songs taking a long time to be written as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's like sometimes you feel like songwriters like foreshadow their life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, but yeah, that's definitely
Jeez, I don't
happened.
know if I want to think about that.
I have tons. I know, me neither. I have tons of songs. Well, I mean, come on, like there's so many.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but I definitely have songs now that like when I listen to them or play them now, it's just a whole new perception.
Yeah.
On what it means and what it is, and like I can apply it to something else now.
Yeah.
Like I can apply what like this line or this thing to another experience in my life, and maybe it just fits a little bit better that way, or maybe that's just what I'm going through right now, and it's like, you hit it on the head. Like your past self wrote your future self a song.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
But it's cool though too. I mean, there's something, I don't know, there's something special about that too, I think, especially if you end up almost surprising yourself, with something
Right.
that you did that you forgot about. Like it's like long gone and forgotten, and then years later it reemerges for whatever reason. You're looking through an old notebook, you're playing an old MP3 or whatever, and you just have that like, whoa, like I wrote that? That feels oddly like more personal now than it did then,
Right. Yeah, I've got a few songs like that.
Yeah.
Bottle that I bought. That is a song that I wrote a long time ago, and it's very relevant.
Yeah.
These days. And,
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Man, that's wild. All right, so I'm going to segue us off of songwriting for a minute here because I want to talk about this trip that you guys took a little bit. Speaking of like perspectives and new experiences, you guys, I imagine, got and I know because I talked to Marie Claire 2 weeks ago about it, a lot of perspective and a lot of, in a very condensed amount of time.
Right.
So I know we touched on a lot of that. I mean, I think we spent 30 minutes or so talking about that trip.
Yeah, we did.
So I want to get some of your perspective on that and how you felt about it. So I guess my first question around that trip, and actually for those who don't know, Marie Claire and Nicky Lee here took a 6-week cross-country trip and busked all over the country, going just everywhere. And that must have been an amazing experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It
A
was
little understated.
amazing to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you want to know?
All right. So first question. If you had to put your finger on one lesson that you learned from, I imagine there's probably a number of them, but something that really stuck with you. Hers was don't forget to eat.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Nick said, I can't remember. Nick said, what was that? Why did you say that?
I think that's great.
But I mean,
don't forget to eat.
for her,
It's
yes.
true for me. He
Yeah.
knows. He was around me when I was hungry. It wasn't pretty.
Right? See, should have had a Snickers.
Took the peanut butter and put it in my mouth. Shut up.
All right, so same question to you, Nick.
One thing I learned.
It could be two.
I mean, I think the greatest lesson that I learned was that my world is not the only world in this world. AKA, the world doesn't revolve around me and my life and what's going on in this thing that I'm doing every day. And it's so easy, I feel like, for everyone to get wrapped up in their own world and city and like place and stuff, and just seeing so many people and how large but how small this earth is in the country. And it's like just opening your eyes and you're in a whole new place.
Yeah.
And like this is going on in this town and these people are going through these things, and it just really allowed me to see that some of the things that I feel like are so big are really so small, and to really just be here and now. Yeah. Because there's a lot going on around us.
I think that's an important perspective that a lot of people have lost sight of, because we have so much access to everything through the internet that people forget, like, your real world is outside your front door. You know, that's where your community is, and all of that. And it's really easy to get caught up in everybody else's world and whatnot. And I think it's also important to be cognizant of that, you know, that, as you just said, your world's not the only one in, you know, this world and whatnot.
The land of Oz.
Yes. Actually, you know, this is totally off topic, but I think you actually just kind of described what I think the multiverse theory actually is trying to get at. Multiple worlds all in one, but anyhow. So, no, that's...
Yeah, I'm about it.
Yeah, right?
I feel that.
Yeah, we could go off on a whole other podcast about that.
Right. It's called Joe Rogan.
Yeah. DMT. No, but that's a great takeaway. Between that and don't forget to eat.
So Nick's like, you know, don't be so shallow because like there's more out there, and I'm like, so it's all about me, and when I'm hungry, everybody's gonna know.
Right. Yep.
Balance. It's a balance.
So, did you have a favorite destination, like, you know, one town or a city or even like a highway or like a back road or someplace where you're like, wow, this is...
No. I don't know. It was it was such, to me, it was a holistic experience. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like, I really tried hard not to like compartmentalize each city and each place and kind of experience it as a whole. Like, this is one big rock,
right? And
like we're just on it, and like every one was such a different experience that it's hard to compare it.
Yeah.
Because it was like I got a little bit of that area's culture and experience at that time, and then I was able to move on and then experience a different area, different culture and stuff like that. So I cannot tell you a favorite one. Like, just the holistic experience was my favorite.
I like that.
And I feel like it was all like puzzle pieces. Like, maybe if I hadn't experienced or we hadn't experienced one place, then maybe it wouldn't have made this place the way that it was, and it wouldn't have made this place the way that it was. You know, it's just kind of like a domino effect of experiences.
You know, if I thought you were lying, I'd say you'd make a great politician, but I don't think you're lying, so don't be a politician.
No comment.
Yeah, right. Oh, now see, there you go. All right, I'm changing my mind now. No, that's a great perspective to have on that as well. So one of the questions I asked Marie Claire was about the different music scenes, and, you know, what you guys got to experience, at least a little bit, maybe, perhaps. You know, would you, like, how did that feel? Or did you get to see any or integrate at all with any of the music scenes, or kind of get a sense of what they are in these different cities, or not so much? And if so, you know, was there any lessons that you learned or anything that you saw in those particular scenes that you think Virginia Beach and our music scene and just Hampton Roads in general would benefit from?
So I saw, I mean, like in Asheville, we had to like race to spots to bus because there was like people behind us with guitars and like one person here like busking and one person here, so we had to like race and like hunker down at a spot, which was like really cool. So it kind of showed that like it's very alive there. Seattle was the same way.
Yeah.
They had like in Seattle, they had music notes, like big ones, all down the sidewalk, and they were numbered. So it was like that was your spot. Like it was specifically for people busking.
Oh, wow.
And like you had to like get a permit and stuff, but like we didn't get a permit.
Right.
We got kind of hassled and blah blah blah. But then the dude was like, "Hey, you're cool. Have a handwritten pass." And then he did that, but it was really cool because he knew that we were from Virginia, and
Right.
we were like,
Yeah, you're just coming through town, passing through.
right.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right." So, just that. I think that music, that was more of like the busking music scene.
That's different.
In Seattle, we also did go to a show. We really wanted to go to the first venue that Pearl Jam played their first concert as Mookie Blaylock. We were very stoked about it. We went to go see Agent Orange. Didn't see Agent Orange because there was like 11 opening bands, and by that time we retired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Agent Orange, if you just so happen to be on this podcast.
They are.
So no, but they. But what I really noticed there was like the scene was alive. Like it was a club, obviously, but I mean it was alive. Like, and I noticed too, like during the breaks and stuff, like there was nobody on their phones.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
even between like the bands like setting up because it was like one band played like 2 minutes, another band played. Like even I didn't see one person on their telephone.
Wow.
Like, everybody was like in it and there, and I just see way too much of that. I feel like at shows and stuff. I mean, just in general.
Right, yeah.
I feel like I see way too much of that. Like, people were very, very present.
Yeah.
And very into the music. And it was strictly about that experience in that moment.
Now, I'm curious about that audience then. Do you think they were mostly musicians that were there supporting the bands, or were they like real people?
It's
No,
the punk rock scene.
I mean, it was just a scene. It was
Okay.
just the scene.
Right.
It was probably, you had a bunch of locals and stuff opening and stuff, and they're following. But the majority of the people stayed.
Yeah.
We like, got the whole night except for us.
Not locals.
But yeah, I mean, I truly just feel like it was one of those things. Like, oh, hey, it's Friday, Saturday, and obviously pretty good band was playing that night. But it was a scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it was like other musicians doing that. Maybe it was. Probably was. I feel like.
I mean, probably a little bit of it. but-
Yeah, I feel like they probably had bands and just. But I mean, it was just people supporting people. Like I see a whole lot.
Yeah.
In the scene here and in Richmond as well.
Yeah, no, I guess that's a question I have for you. Are you more familiar with the Richmond scene or Virginia Beach, or are you kind of back and forth all over the place?
I'm pretty familiar with both.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in the Virginia Beach and stuff club scene, playing like clubs here, and then the same thing for Richmond. Used to play a lot from Virginia Beach to like Roanoke and Charlottesville and Richmond and up.
Okay,
So it's pretty
wow.
much like this little the region,
Right.
if you will. But yeah, so Richmond is where I'm at.
So, coming back to the trip, so is there anything that you would take from these scenes? Like, if you could like pluck something and be like, oh, I really like this attribute of this music scene, and I'd like to see it in Virginia Beach. Has that crossed your mind at all? And if so, what would that attribute be?
I'm not sure. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Virginia Beach a lot lately in the last couple years. Really, just this goes out to any scene. Just play more original songs.
I like that. Yep. Did you guys experience that with with the busking? Were people doing original stuff at all, or was it mostly just covers?
I'm not sure. We saw like a lot of like violin players and like
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I never really saw a whole lot of people doing what we were doing.
Interesting.
No, there was that one guy in Asheville who was clearly doing what we were doing, but he was kind of like chasing us, like, "Hey, did you guys find a spot?" And we were like, "Get away!" Like, but he was just a dude with a guitar.
Yeah.
So that was probably the only
Yeah,
encounter we had with somebody like that.
yeah.
I think.
Honestly, it was like somebody playing a piano,
Yeah, but he wasn't even singing.
violins, like the buckets, obviously,
some
but nobody
trumpet
was
players in New
right.
Orleans.
Nobody was really out there like
doing the acoustic thing.
playing.
Blowing their voices out on
Yeah.
the daily.
Right.
Yeah, how did that feel? Because you guys didn't have any kind of amplification with you.
No, it felt good.
Just the diaphragm.
I mean, it felt good. You know, it was like a couple. Obviously, I project
Yeah.
a lot when I'm singing.
Just a little bit.
Well, my control gets better. Like, you know, when you don't do
Yeah.
it, you know, it's like it's the muscle and stuff like that. So like a couple days in, like I felt my control was like on point. My diaphragm was on point and stuff like that. I'm very, very bad at doing any kind of vocal exercises or anything like that.
Yeah, aren't
I
we
usually
all?
just, like, pick up my guitar and I'm like, which, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it was quite the experience, you know. And there were certain times though where like people would be walking really, really close to us, and like I would be like, I'm be screaming in your face right now.
Yeah.
Like I have to do it. Like I don't want to, you know. This is the spot. Like here's like the song,
Right.
and you're getting it.
And they did get it.
I like it.
So
I got a question for both of you. Are you guys considering doing another trip like this? Or did you kind of like have that experience? You're like, cool, like that was fun, or like is this something that you're like, oh, we got to do this again, and you've got like other destinations you want to go to?
Question for Nick.
I would like to do it again.
Okay.
I would like to do it. We talked in another dream. That was a dream like in itself was doing that, you know, obviously. And then getting to do it with her and share that experience with her was wonderful. But something I would really like to do solo is do the same thing in hop trains.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
do that whole thing and really experience it. Something similar like that.
Wow.
You know, kind of
Yeah.
alone. I'm a real big Chris McCandless
Right.
fan, and you know all that kind of stuff. So I like the lone wolf
Just
kind of stuff.
don't
you
end
know.
up like Chris McCandless.
Right.
No, I mean I'll try not to sleep in a bus in
Yeah.
Alaska for too long.
Yeah.
Just a healthy amount of time.
Right. You know, this something I'm gonna just throw this out there, something to think about. But a Euro trip.
Euro trip would be
Busking-
sick.
Busking Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You guys would crush it.
100%.
That'd be
Anthony
a fun trip.
Simpkins from Gems on VHS just did that. Him and Matt Heckler. I don't know if you listen to any.
No, I'm not
Right.
familiar with them.
We'll talk about it later. It's
Okay.
like Americana bluegrass folk.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they just did that actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, my next step is a tour. That's what my next move will be.
Yeah.
Is hopefully get the gang together and
Mm-hmm.
you know, do it.
Yeah. So you've got a band, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're pretty killer.
Yeah.
From what I've seen so far, what I've heard.
yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you've earned it. You know, like good musicians don't hang out with good, or like, you know, I mean, you know how it goes, right? It's
Right.
like you earn your spot with the musicians that you work with,
Right.
and it's a two-way street. So that's exciting. So you're gearing up to tour with the band and like.
I mean, eventually,
Yeah.
that's my plan. If anything, alone with a duo. I mean, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
that's the next move. Is to get it out there and keep my feet moving.
Awesome.
You know.
Yeah.
I hopefully get the guys on board and make sure that they're able to live a little bit comfortably
Yeah.
and make it work.
No, that's exciting. That I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Speaking it into existence.
Huh?
I'm speaking it into
Yeah,
existence.
there you go, exactly. And you know what? You got my full support, man. You know, I'll put some imagination power behind that as well, because I wanna see that happen, and I wanna come to one of your shows.
Okay.
especially with the full band. But I also want to just come to one of your shows, which actually this is a great segue. Where are you playing next?
October 14th at the Camel in Richmond, Virginia. We're headlining the show.
Nice.
It's the first time headlining with this entity that is Nicky Lee and Lingo. Doors at 8 o'clock. Tickets are $8 in advance and $10 at the door. The Dogwoods are a Richmond band. They're going to be support, and Cultivated Mind from Virginia Beach.
Nice.
Tony, my brother, he'll be opening the show. So it's going to be a good one, man.
Wow,
I really hope you can make it.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to be there for that. That sounds awesome.
Mark your calendar.
Yeah, so you said October 14th
October 14th.
at the Camel in Richmond. Make sure you're there.
Right.
That's awesome. All right, let's do a couple more tunes.
Okay. And so speaking of segues, this is a song called I Got Lost.
Yes.
Got more questions than answers. I have less money than soul, but so much trouble's been handed. And where my feet were was my home. A broken old lover, but she picks me, kept in that pocket untamed. The truth and insanity were kissing. Lust was a fiery rain. Well, I got lost, waiting on a lead. I got lost, waiting on me. Well, I was left in that bottle and so helpless. The bottle was empty like me. But when we're full, we don't show this side of that rotten disease. Though as my spirit's lifted, I forget to be afraid of the master within. And a leash again, all good, all bad, would rain. And I got lost, waiting on a lead. I got lost, waiting on me. Question in time. I got lost, lost in flight. Well, I'm a father, a singer, and a kid too. Howl at the wolves and the leaves. I write and figure out all my own songs, Lord, yes I do. The chaos is comfortable to me. Well, promises are easily broken, not to them and also to you. But you can't lie to yourself when there's no one else inside your head but you. And I got lost, waiting on a lead. I got lost, waiting on me. I got lost, questioning time. I got lost, oh yeah, lost in the fire.
You know, I think I mentioned this to you 2 weeks ago. You would do very, very, very well up in Vermont.
I can see that.
Yeah. Up in Vermont, up in Boston, Maine, like the whole New England area, like you guys definitely have to go up that way. And I know some people up there, so if you ever want to do that, let me know and I'll see,
right.
you know, if I can, you know, help set some stuff up for you guys and get you some leads at least. Because you guys would crush it, like really, really crush it, like upstate New York, like all of that. People would love, you know, the type of music that the two of you do, which is also, you know, it's really interesting because you've got your own style and you've got your own style, but they're very complementary of
Yeah,
each other.
totally.
You know, like you two doing a show together, not just, you know, like the arrangement now, but you know, switching back and forth doing songs and whatnot. I mean, that'd be a killer show right there. That'd be a great dynamic, and people would love it. Again, up north, like you guys would murder it.
Thank you.
No, absolutely, thank you. So let's see here. Do you have one or two more?
I got two.
Yeah, two more.
What do you
Awesome.
need?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got two.
Hands.
Hands.
This is a song called Two Hands. All right. Well, this whole world is spinning round, and if I'm lost, I hope I'm found by an angel just like you. A desperate man sees no signs and only lives by a desperate smile that keeps him going like a train. A broken mind, endless hole, suffocates the rambling soul that lifts you up when you're down. 'Cause happiness is like a song, it only lasts for so long, and you can choose when to get taken away. I've got two hands just for moving. This old six string helped me find my way. Nothing sweeter than a true believer in all that is and all that shows its face. Well, I can bitch, I can whine, but I will look and I will try to help you get it, and we'll say it again. Who was hurt? Who's to blame? First it's guilt and then it's shame. And you look over, said I'm sorry too. It's not like me to be this way, and I don't think you're listening to the heaviest silence of my life. And I've got 2 hands just for moving this old 6-string, help me find my way. Nothing sweeter than a true believer in all that is and all that shows its face. Love me now or leave me soon, 'cause in my pain I hurt you and left my own soul to be punished by me. But I will walk, I will climb, and myself I will find. And when I get there, you can take my hand. 'Cause happiness is like a song, it only lasts for so long. Now I will choose when to get taken away. 'Cause I've got 2 hands just for moving this old 6-string, help me find my way. Nothing sweeter than a true believer in all that is and all that shows its face. 'Cause I've got 2 hands just for moving this old 6-string, help me find my way. Nothing sweeter than a true believer in all that is and all that shows its face.
So when did you write that one?
Probably 2019.
I remember that.
Okay.
It's like fall of 2019.
Okay. Interesting.
Fall of 2019. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I know that's the one thing that the microphone always it gets everybody.
Yeah.
You know. Actually, I think that's the one aspect where headphones help. Is that's where you can hear how close or how far you actually are from it. You know, but at the same time, you know, headphones just change the game entirely. Like, it's a different feeling when you're hearing yourself play and sing through them.
I prefer that, like, when I'm recording.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the studio and stuff, so it's like I can really, really dial in. I usually keep one on and then one off.
Right.
So that I'm kind of right in the middle.
Yep.
But right now, you know, we're just
Yeah.
having an experience together, so it's kind of hard to, like...
Yeah,
you know?
no, exactly. And it's you know, it's more...
Can you imagine, like, if, like, that's, like, what you had to do every time you talk to somebody, like, in public?
Right,
So
yeah.
Whip out a mic.
Ew.
How are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah.
in this room?
Oh, I'm doing great, thanks. I really appreciate that.
But yeah, I wrote that in, like, fall of 2019. It was kind of my take on... Not my take, but, like... It's kind of like a, I don't know, I was channeling my inner Bob Dylan, I think. And it just really, it came out that way.
Yeah.
That song's got a whole, like, several different meanings in it.
Yeah, there's
All kind of tie into the chorus of you know.
Yeah. No, it seems like there's a lot to unpack there. That, man, you're a really good writer. Like, I know we were joking around a little bit earlier, like, I don't know if I've still written a good song, but dude, like, these songs are phenomenal. I mean, they take people places, and you should see some of the comments, where people are saying, what you're doing is inspirational. Like, there's a comment in there that says that, So, you're doing something right. For sure, and I know, each time that, especially like when you jump in there too, it elevates everything. I mean, the dynamic is great, and it's taken me on a journey every time you guys play.
I know I'm really lucky. I'm very lucky that she enjoys it and like resonates with it as well, like with the songs.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky because obviously she has a phenomenal voice.
Yeah.
And then to like have that, behind like, what I'm doing and stuff, because our voices are so different as well. But it's like I feel like you said,
they mesh really well. They're very complimentary.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky.
I'm the lucky one. I sometimes can't believe that he wants me to be a part of this, but
get out of here! Come on now.
well, I mean, it's just that he's so phenomenal. Like as an individual, it's like you really want, like you're trusting me to get in this. So I'm sorry that I'm not more on point sometimes because I want to be like top notch for Nicky Lee.
I feel that. I mean, I feel that way about myself a lot too.
you don't want to let yourself down.
I guarantee you, we'll leave here and I'll be like, that sucked. I didn't like it.
Right.
And then we'll listen to it.
It is what it is. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's how you get better. Like
no, exactly. I think you're doing something wrong if you don't have at least a little bit of that,
right.
at the forefront of your mind, because that, I mean, if you're happy with where you're at, then there's no higher mountain to climb.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm here. Then you peak, and it's like, is that
really where I want to be?
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't. At least for me, I don't know if that's where I want to be. I want to find that next challenge. I want to figure out how to take another step up. Until I just like can't figure out how to do it anymore.
Right.
But I don't think you're ever gonna end up really being like happy per se with where you're at. I think there's accomplishments that you feel good about, like, oh, okay, like that was cool, like that was another step in like another rung in the ladder, but what's the next one?
Right.
I think that's the exciting thing about being a musician and just life in general. It's like, okay, what's the next, like how can I do this bigger?
Yeah.
And I think keeping that mentality, as long as you don't give up, I think that's how you go places. Like really go places. So I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. And for any aspiring musicians out there listening to this, that's, that'd be my number one piece of advice. I don't know about you, but actually I think that's a good question. I kind of want to field to both of you. So who wants to go first? If you had a piece of advice for a new musician, what would it be?
Well, I think that greatly depends on what kind of a musician you are. But I don't know, if you're a new musician, like new to your craft in general, just do it all the time. Do it whenever you can.
Yeah.
Practice, whatever that means. Practice if it's like songwriting, like Nick said, writing a bunch of shitty songs to get to the gold. Or if it's like, I remember when I first was playing classical piano, it was like I played every free chance I got,
Yeah.
It's just repetition.
Yep.
And, commitment to like how you feel when you're doing it.
That's a big one.
That.
All right, over to you, Nick.
Like, what would I say to a new writer, just musician, or just anything?
I mean, that's kind of up to you.
I mean, I would just say just keep doing it, no matter what, and keep writing, keep playing, and continue and always do it for the right reason.
I like that. All right, so you got one more song for us?
I do.
All right.
This is a tune called Wait It Out. I wrote this song the same day as that one song, I Am. I relate them to each other. Yeah. It's around the same time I began to write them. little tunage. I never said I'd be a perfect man. I never said I'd listen to myself. Leaving behind what was a perfect family, from the ways up the bottom, the words I can't spell. I think about it as a song that says, you have everything but nothing left. A mirror image of the parents who made sure you're sleeping but won't make you bed. And this has gotta be known. Where the fire, where what's wrong, yeah. And this has gotta be heard. Left for now, left for word, before I can lead the way. Inside, I must change. I said, hey, I got a lot to do, I got a lot to say, I have a lot to prove. Hey, I have a lot to think about. Hey, have a lot to be, I have a lot to learn, I have a lot to see. Hey, there's a lot to think about. I think I'll wait it out. Oh, 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 yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, 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 yes, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, 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 yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, oh. If you're stuck inside a place that's black, easy to forget what you love, what you had, but all we ever really need is now. And now it's too confusing and you just want out. Well, if you're in a place that you're scared, leave it in between the when and where. Cause now and then you'll see that you care and work for the love that was scarce. Well, this has gotta be known. Where the fire, where what's wrong, this has gotta be heard. Left for now, left for work, and before I can lead the way. Inside, I will change. I said, hey, I have a lot to do, I have a lot to say, I have a lot to prove. Hey, there's a lot to think about. Hey, there's a lot to be, I have a lot to learn and a lot to see. Hey, there's a lot to think about. Yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Wait it out. Oh, 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 yeah. I think I'll wait it out. Oh, oh, oh. I never said it'd be a perfect life. I never said it'd be a perfect ride, but there is always different ways to try. It's just how you see it, if you don't mind. I know it seems like it just won't end, but if you keep seeking the answers you'll get. And now and then you'll see that you chose and work for the love it's your road, because this has gotta be known. There is healing, there is hope. This has gotta be heard. You are someone, you have worth, and before we can leave the way, we'll put behind yesterday. I said, hey, I have a lot to do, I have a lot to say, I have a lot to prove. Hey, there's a lot to think about. Hey, there's a lot to be, I have a lot to learn and a lot to see. Hey, there's a lot to think about. I think I'll wait it out. Oh, 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 yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, oh, yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh, yeah, I think I'll wait it out. Oh.
Man, Nicky Lee and Marie Claire Evans, thank you both so much for coming on and doing this.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us.
Dude,
Thanks for having me. Both of you.
I mean, this has been really quite something. Your music it's amazing, and it's there, like the air quotes there, you know. You know, you're saying you're saying you want to go on a tour. I think that's the right step. You know, and you know, I know you know, you've also talked about putting a record together and all of that, and I think that's something you definitely got to make happen. And tour with that thing and sell it, because people are going to buy it. Like, people don't even realize right now that they need to hear what you have to say, because it's super. Everything you've played today, I've already found a way to interpret it into my own story and apply it to my own life. And it's you know, it took me somewhere, you know, and so I really appreciate that. And I know a lot of the folks that have tuned in, which, by the way, thank you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You know, it's touched them too, right? So your music makes people feel something, and people need to hear that, man. So again, I just want to say thank you both. Real quick, let's plug your Instagram and your Facebook. It's Instagram at Nicky Lee Music, and Facebook Nicky Lee Music Official. And Marie Claire, do you want to plug your? And for the folks who don't know or who haven't seen it, 2 weeks ago, Marie Claire did an episode. Make sure you go back and check that out. She is a phenomenal singer-songwriter. You know, you go back and watch it. You're gonna learn a lot, and her music's amazing as well. So I don't know if you wanna plug anything real quick.
Thank you. No, I'm good. This is about Nick.
Okay. So, all right. Well,
It's Marie Claire Music.
He did
Darn.
Me like that.
damn, what a
Not
terrible
bad.
person.
Better him to say it than me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, once again, thank you both so much for coming on, and I really hope that I can get you back on again at some point
A whole new
in the
set list
future.
for you, man.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, folks, that is it. We will see you next Sunday. And I believe we have a full band, Mr. Fang, I believe. Mr. Fang and the Dark Tones coming on next Sunday. That's going to be awesome. So tune in for that, 6 p.m. on the Lockdown live stream. Once again, thank you both, and good night.